So hey guys, what's up? This is ScherBR talking. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is about UniverSe. We'll be discussing the safe and fast farming for episode 14. Sorry about not releasing this video before, but you know, holidays, and I was also working with my new workplace. You guys will see more about it. Took me a lot of days to plan and try to organize stuff because I don't have many space. But I'm prepared for future live streams, and the quality you can already see here. I changed it how I use my green screen. I believe the can is now with a better quality, even though it's the same can. But without further ado, let's start talking about episode 14. In episode 14 is not exactly as easy to farm as some past episodes. There are some gimmicks here. And the first stage that we could farm is this one, 14.1.5. But this is only for those that haven't farmed it or missed the chance to farm the bow from the current event. That's the Christmas event. You know, this bow here is not so strong. It has only 18 weapon power when compared to the one that you can farm in the event that has 19 weapon power. And it's very good to farm this bow and the other weapons available here because they are better than the ones that we can farm in story so far. So this bow here has 19 weapon power. It's way better. So just forget about farming this stage. But if you are watching this video later and you want to farm a bow, and well, this is where you can farm. And I will just explain a little better here. This is not a good stage to farm because the enemies have very high agility. Sometimes they are not so easy to defeat. They have a lot of HP, and the enemies are not so aligned the way that you can bring specific types of damage. Let's talk about this. I am using the Tiger formation, and well, the Tiger formation increases the STR for the dexterity for the character that is on the front line, and in the back lines we have increase to dexterity and intelligence. So you can either choose a mage or a pierce damage dealer to be used in the backlines, while my fairy is getting a boost to her STR. She's a very strong character and will help clear the first wave. In the first wave there's only pierce weaknesses. It's not much, so that's the reason why I'm bringing some pierce here. I also have SaGa. SaGa usually kills one of those targets with her Phoenix Arrow, but she is maxed. She's not with the highest cap status yet. She only 14 on style level, but she can do the job. And the other characters here are Liz. Liz will just help with cold damage because on the second wave the enemies are weak to cold, and some of the enemies on the third wave are also weak against cold. You can see on the image on the left here, oops, the image is inverted, that you have to bring Pierce, Cold, and Lightning to this. So let's start with full power auto so we can discuss while we play. And well, Fairy gets the start usually. She's a very strong character for this. And the other characters kinda can act before some others. You know, Thunderclap was not exactly a good idea here. But you cannot decide which character go first. It's RNG. In the second wave we have this Frog and the Snake. They are only weak to Cold and Lightning. But okay, Fairy is still strong enough to just kill at least one of them. You see, even 3 attacks is not enough to kill this enemy. Dragon Fury will probably kill the Frog. Yes. And now we are on the third wave. On the third wave we have this dragon that can hypnotize your characters. And that's the reason why this is not exactly a good place to farm. You see, he only used a single target hypnotize this time, but he can use an AoE. Other enemies are also very strong. So, you see, SaGa can just start using her Happy String, the Happy Volley attack. But it's not enough to kill you. You cannot kill this wave with only one turn. You usually need to use 2 turns. The problem is that if he uses Hypnotize to all your characters, that can make the fight even longer. Mobile Pop is good because, well, it's the element the lizards are weak to. I also suggest you bring a healer if you don't have such high power as this squad here. Also, Slice and Dice, it's insta-kill most of the time. Well, like I said, do not farm here only if you are desperate for a bow and you missed the opportunity to get the one from the Santa Christmas event. And now that we're done with this stage here, we're talking about the second one, and this one is way better. But even still not the best one, because it doesn't have the highest cap. But if you have characters with double or triple status gains, it may be a good idea, because it's super easy and super fast to farm. Let's talk about 14.2.1. This one, you have enemies that are weak to magical attacks most of the time. But not only magical attacks, but the first wave is also weak against Slash. But I think you should totally ignore the Slash component of this fight. And just stick with, you know, Moon damage. Why? I will explain this. I have actually 4 Moon damage dealers here. We have Barthélemy because his last attack is Abaddon Hands and he can just inflict Moon and Heat. While we have also Judy that will just keep using Psycho Noise. Remember to just, you can even give your Dark Flare a higher VP so that she do not use this because it's not needed. And the other mage we can use here is actually Rouge, because, you know, Energy Storm needs to be inherited, and it's an AoE attack that will help you kill the first wave fast. The problem with Rouge is that if he does not attack on the first turn, he will use Raging Gust, and that can break your fast farming. You know, I'm using Rapid Stream because it's one of the best formations to attack before your enemies, and these enemies are very fast actually, so if you try to use Magical Shower, you may just lose time because they may attack before you, they can kill your characters, and that will happen to break your strategy. So let's just start here and see what we can do. Julian here is only for status, so you can bring someone to just get status. Not only on Julian plays, on Ray plays you can also bring another character. You will not see Ray or Julian being important on this fight. You can bring any other character. Now, in the second wave we have those enemies that are weak to any type of magical attacks. And 3 attacks is enough. You see? Exactly what we were thinking about. And the last wave has 9 enemies, but don't be scared. They are very weak. They are like the first versions of the past enemies we just fought. And, you know, with 2 AoEs, sometimes you'll be able to defeat them. So, this is a very interesting stage for those that have magical damage. You don't really need to just bring Moon damage because the second and third wave are weak to any type of magical attack, but the first wave is actually weak against Moon and Slash, so that's why Moon is better here. But you can just bring maybe Barthélemy and any other type of magic damage dealer that can use AoE attacks. So, in my opinion, this is the fastest farming that you can find on episode 14. But see here on the image, it doesn't have the highest cap. But if you have characters with double or triple status gains, sometimes even farming here is okay, because of the speed. We have way too many stamina potions. So the next stage is at 14.2.2, and this stage here we will totally ignore to our video, because it has way too many different weaknesses. The enemy can be very hard, it attacks 2 times, it's super fast, so let's ignore the stage. We can already farm the heat and wind staffs with the first stage. And the third stage here, Secret Passage 2, is actually the best place for farming, I believe, because you can also bring other characters that are not so strong. And the central strategy is based on 3 characters only. So let's find my setup here. I am using recent characters because I know people are summoning and they are probably with the best characters already. Probably everyone's summoning for blue. Fuse was a recommendation of mine. Princess White Rose may be something that some people will not have. You can exchange her for maybe Kongming, it should work. Blue and Fuse are the most important characters in this setup here. Let's just start the fight. BR and Flurry are not needed. They are here just for status. So, the enemies here are weak to Blunt, Sun, and Heat. The first wave can try to make you a little confused because there's like 6 enemies and the Piercer is weak against Blunt. You know, and it's also resistant against Sun. But don't worry, they have very low HP. Even if you use Sun on the first turn, it will still work. What I do here with Blue is a little different. I inherit Heat Wave, so that he starts with Heat Wave. Heat Wave has the same BP as Saber Ray, so he will use Heat Wave 2 times, then Light Ball on the last wave. On the last wave he will not do so much damage, but it's still okay. And what I do with Beer is nothing. Flurry is here because he kinda helps with Seismic Strike. When he gets to use it on the second wave, you will see. Fuse is here for a Proton Rocket or Submachine Gun. If he uses Proton Rocket on the second turn, it will be very good. And the Princess White Rose will just use Blasted Garden. It's a very strong spell. She's not using the SS staff. The one that is using exactly blue. so he gets a little more chance to do more damage. But Princess White Rose is still very strong. I'm inheriting Chocolate Ball so that she can use Chocolate Ball on the second wave. If she misses the second wave, she will only be able to use it on turn 4 because she doesn't have a good cycling for AoE. It's okay, so now let's just turn full power auto. Beer and Flurry are not needed, like I said. Heat Wave was enough to kill all the piercers. You know, very strong attack with blue, if your blue is strong enough. And on the second wave, we have those enemies that are weak to Blunt, Sun, and Heat. The steel characters already did very high damage, and the last one can be either, you know, Fuse or Flurry. Flurry can kill with Seismic Strike as well. In the last wave, we have the same weaknesses. The piercers that came from the first wave, and the Ant that is actually weak against the Blunt. He's not weak against Sun, so it may take some time to deal more damage. It's very safe because this Ant is not strong. So it's not like the other stages where the enemy are so strong that you cannot farm with safe strategies. This one is super safe. You don't need to bring a healer. Just bring damage works. Okay, so I got even more intelligence with my blue. Very nice indeed. I will only explain a little about this formation because it's a little different than the ones that we were using so far. This one uses the Ranger formation, the new Ranger formation. And the reason why is this because I want to get some speed out of this. My Princess White Rose use it on the Agility Plus slot, while Blue is using on the Intelligence Plus slot. He already has very high Agility. And the Fuse is using on the Dex Plus slot. With Flurry on the front line, getting the STR Plus slot, because you can use club users in this formation super fine. They could have even tried to get some martial artists on the Agility Plus slot, but I tried it and they didn't work so fine. So, okay, this is the strategy for this stage. Now we talk about the next one. And the next stage is 14 plus 2 plus 4. And the stage here is not exactly so easy to farm because the enemies have way too much HP. They have around 25k HP, and that's a lot. And in this time, we have to use a formation that increases agility as well because the enemies are super fast. So I'm using Speculation, and I am focused on increasing the damage of Ellen, Global Exclusive Katarina, and Nassals. They work super fine here. And the Julian is a lifesaver. He will help everyone that gets damage. You just have to equip your Julian with equipments that increases his slash resistance. He can even use the Harmonia Suite that increases resistance but lowers agility. There's no reason to have high agility with Julian here. He's just to protect you from some attacks, because even when using Speculation, some enemies will try to attack before you. Final Empress is still slash damage, but she's also a healer. It just makes for a very safe farming experience here. You know, Global Exclusive Katarina does not get the highest agility because she already has a very high one. Well, and also for Aslas, I'm using Rosario and Peo as the first attack. Ellen is just using very interesting setup here, I must explain. This is kind of the most important character for my setup. I already have the two different Ellens, so she is inheriting Heavy Slash from a Ward Ellen. And I'm overriding Heavy Cut by inheriting Heavy Slash with 5 VP. And also increased Mega Hawk back to 11 and Wild Fur back to 13. So that, or even 16, doesn't really matter. So that she will only use Heavy Slash. That is if she gets to attack on the first wave. She will only use Half Slash for 3 times in a row. And in turn 4, she will use normal attack. And in turn 5, she uses Half Slash again. This is central because all the enemies here are aligned by columns. So if you have another character that can inflict column damage, it will also help you a lot. And that is the strategy, guys. So let's enter this. The first wave has humans. Humans are usually weak against Moon and Slash. And here I say that you have to bring Slash and Moon to the formation for more damage. You see? Yeah, she already used the attack. And, well, Rosario and Theo was enough to kill the other enemy. We clear the first wave with our characters without having to go for a second turn. Those enemies here are a little of a problem, because if you don't bring high agility, he will just use this that can stun you. And Julian can help a little by avoiding some stuns. Yeah, another time we just finish with a single turn. And in the last wave, we have 3 enemies again. Well, column attack is just super strong here again. And we got very close to clearing it with another turn, but once you survive it. But this strategy is still super fine. I use it to farm a lot of status with this squad. You can just focus yourself on the 3 frontal characters. If you have Julian, just Julian is enough. You don't need to bring Final Empress here. She is disposable. You can use another character just to train. In the last stage is breaking the mood wall, 14.2.5. The enemies here are weak to Slash, Moon, and Heat. And it's not so easy to find a combination of this that can kill them super fast, but I made this strategy here that I'll explain. It uses the same 3 frontal characters again, Acelus, Katarina, and Nellen, with Barthélemy and Judy now on the back. Let's check the formation here. We have Rainbow Rangers with Kat. She has more agility, so that she attacks before the enemies. And I'm not increasing her STR, and that's an interesting thing, because Barthélemy has the slot that increases intelligence, so that he deals more damage with his first attack. And the second wave is weak to heat, so he's very important for turn 1 and turn 2. Then we have Acelus in the Dexterity Plus for part of the setup. Well, it kind of doesn't really matter if she's on the Love Plus or Dex Plus, because it doesn't buff her damage. And Ellen is in the front line because she will be very strong to kill 1 enemy. Judy is here, but Judy is not needed, guys. I'm bringing the 5 characters that I think that are most important here. The second wave, we have a plan to kill, and it can be either killed by Ellen or by Judy. You don't really need to bring both Ellen and Judy. In this formation, I'm bringing both because I know that any of them works, and I will show you how it is done. It's also kind of fast, I believe, but maybe the past stage was faster. But you need this stage to farm for Holly and Shadow Staves. Okay, so you see they are aligned differently. Barthélemy will start with his Abaddon hands, like always, and then Global Exclusive Katarina will kill them both. Yes, they need to be very strong for this to happen, and their skills maxed. And now we have Margarita. This enemy here is very problematic. It can confuse you, I think. It has some status elements. And very high amount of HP. Hatwind is okay to just kill the other enemies in the back. And Ellen was enough to kill these 2, the plant. The bees were already killed by Heatwave. And now the last wave has 4 of the Dean soldiers. They are super fast. You can already see that they are attacking before us. They can one-hit kill you as well. So Judy didn't kill the plant, so she had enough BP to use her last skill. That's the problem. But at least she kills one of the enemies by herself. And Barthélemy is not strong on the last wave. That's the only problem with him. But now we're just killing the remaining enemies, and you know, even if someone dies, this strategy is safe. I never lost with this strategy. But I believe the past one is faster, but if you wanted the Shadow or Holly staff, you will need to use this strategy or similar strategies, but run this stage instead. So yeah, guys, I believe this ends the video. We talked about all these different stages that you can farm here. I believe there are many. And well, it's time to farm. We have lots of stamina potions. And so, happy farming. Thank you all for watching this video. I wish you all a happy new year. And if you want to support this channel, you can do so by the links on the description of the video. We see each other later. Bye.